everybody. Sorry. Crisps, you know? No, not jalapeno. Salt and vinegar. What kind of gin joint you think I'm running here? Salt and vinegar or bust. Although I do like some jalapeno chips. Listen, I don't know if my friend Jonathan's out there in Radio Land. Happy birthday. Didn't know it was your birthday. I don't know why we've never talked about it. But happy birthday. I'm getting choked up. I love you so much. What a ham. You're a ham. And I love you very much, and you're very special, and I'm glad that it's your birthday, because it means that you're alive, and you were born, and you make the world a better place, like, for a long time you have, so good job. Good job. And, yeah, happy birthday. Hey, everybody. Oh, man, it's so good to be here. You know, I was thinking about how, hey, Kenny, and Sandy, and Jan Make Stuff, and Bonnie, and Charles, and CB Mac. Faith Quilts subscribed to Tier 1. You've subscribed for 8 months. I appreciate you, Faith. I appreciate everybody who's subscribing. The mods who help, you know, wrangle things. There's really a lot to do, you know, and you really help me. And the subscribers, like, you know, you can subscribe free with Amazon Prime. You can subscribe at Tier 1. You can subscribe at Tier 3, but I don't even think you know what that is or that you can do it. And I don't want you to do it because I can't fulfill that kind of commitment. Tier 1's $4.99 a month, and it's great. If you want to do that, it's great. It helps keep the lights on, you know what I'm saying? But you can always watch the show for free. You don't ever have to pay anything. And eventually, you know, the shows that we do here go up on YouTube. Yeah, and you can watch shows after they're live on the Twitch channel for a while. You can't participate in the chat when you watch the video recording, but you can see the streams. And I think right now, while the channel's new, I think I'm gonna keep that way for a while, because I want people to come to the Twitch channel. Most people who come from our community in the quilt world are new to Twitch. I want them to be able to see what this is all about. So yeah, so with your subscription, you don't have to watch ads. You get to be invited to the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. Studio 54, the disco, you know. Hey, MC John and Lillian and Robin's Nest and Miss Lainey. It's so good to see you. Tacos in the chat. And yeah, and I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's a cool community. We've had some new people over the past couple weeks who've come to the show and come back. We know there are more nerds like us out there who just we like spending time with quilts and thinking about what they mean and thinking about why they look the way they do and why people make them the way they do, why people feel the way they feel about them. Why are they so special? How can there be a Twitch show week after week, month after month, year after year? We don't know yet, but we're going to find out. About these things. How can there possibly be that much to say about quilts? But we know that there'll never be enough time, because quilts are about people, and people they're weird and great and beautiful and terrible. So pretty much this is a show about people. Hey, Dana. It's our little champagne cork. Can you hear it? Threadus. Hello, Threadus. Do you have a new cocktail that you highly recommend? The New Spain. It's called the New Spain. Tried it out this weekend at the coast. SJ Pepper. I almost called you MJ Pepper. What is this, Spider-Man? SJ Pepper, more like community. I'm here for the gossip. Oh, you know what? See, that's the thing. Oh, here you go. Here's what's gonna happen. One day, we'll have like a members only stream. I mean, this is like, wow. I mean, I could get myself actually canceled if I did this, but what if like tier 3 members who, I mean, that's like $25 a month. You would like put I don't have children, but you would be like putting my children through college at that level. But like maybe if you're tier 3, I do a tier 3 members only stream and tell you all of the gossip I know about like all of the quilt world people. That'd be great. That'd be great. You have to sign an NDA, but you get the goods. Ask me about anybody. I'll tell you what I know. That's terrible. Look, you know what? If there ever was a time to play that, it was right then. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. What a crack up! NDH got outside and played in the dirt. I love that. That is very good. Hey, Joyce Fivers. And Quilted Toes. Yes, you do see Quilted Toes. Yeah, over here. Yeah, sorry, Quilted Toes. I'm gonna show you the whole quilt in a bit, and yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So let's see. Anyway, welcome to the show. Yeah, I was excited about the show tonight. I mean, I always am, but tonight, you know, I have to say I was like extra excited because y'all, show tonight, show on Saturday. That's the shows for this week. Because we had 3 shows a week, we're going to 2 shows a week. Except every other week we do have 3 shows a week because of Quilters Newsletter Friday. But this is gonna, I mean, the reason I'm excited about this is not because I have like a day off, trust me, that's not a thing. But because like, can you imagine by Saturday how like weirdly eager I will be? Hopefully you will be weirdly eager too. I mean, yeah, like it's gonna be like, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing. Saturday night's gonna be great. And what I'm gonna do tonight is show you, I'm gonna tease you. Before our next rendezvous, I'm gonna show you a little bit of what we're gonna do on Saturday. That's the thing, I can like think ahead, plan ahead. It's exciting. Oh my God. Yeah, so there's Quilt Nerd, you know, Tuesdays and Saturdays, and then SJ, I mean, I don't know how I forgot to promote Blanket Geek. No, I don't know. I think this is your sound too. God, you're funny. L Riggs! The 27th is not a newsletter Friday. The next Quilters Newsletter Friday is the 20th, but here's the thing, part of my announcements, look. Hang on. Some of them, I have many announcements tonight, but you know what the thing is about tonight's announcement? Hey, Michelle! If I haven't said hello to you in the chat, I will. But I do have announcements tonight. I'm playing with the format of the show, you know, maybe do some business in the middle of the show before the break. I think that sounds good, so we can get right into the intro quilt, get right into that content. But tonight, the announcements are really part of the show because the announcements are not about this show. They're about other things, including the 25th anniversary gala celebration at the International Quilt Museum. And so I want to talk about that. I want to show you something. I want to talk about, well, Saturday night show, part of what I'm going to do, and do with you. And of course, I want to mention that, that we have a special. We have a coupon code, AQSG. So I'll get to that. But after we do the intro quilt, I want to talk about the gala celebration for the Quilt Museum. Actually, I'm doing it now. I can do that. I get to do that. I get to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get small. Oh yes, what a cool quilt. What a cool quilt. Kenny, you know what? The theme of the gala, vegetables. I'm going as a pepper. That was not that funny, but I just, I didn't have time to come up with anything better. There's no theme as far as I know, but there ought to be. Here's what I can tell you is that the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska is turning 25. So the reason I thought about this right now, well, it's on my sheet, but Quilters Newsletter Friday should be next week, but I'm gonna do some special things next week, some special streams, some special on location things instead. And you know, we'll catch up with Quilters Newsletter Friday. What's exciting about the extra content next week is that it will be different. I mean, we got a lot of Quilters newsletters. We'll be hanging out with Quilters Newsletter plenty. But next week, and I don't know what the schedule will be yet because I have to figure that part out. But because I'm on the board of the Quilt Museum, and so it's the board meeting next week. So I go to Lincoln on Tuesday, the 17th. And then it's like board stuff, you know? I mean, it's not boring stuff. It's board, like advisory board stuff. but that's all. There's all kinds of opportunities to live stream, from the museum, maybe hop on and say hi to people and stuff like that. So if you don't follow this show, if you haven't clicked the follow thing, click the follow button, because then you'll get a notification when I go live. And like, maybe you're just like at work and you're like, I hate this. This is terrible. And then you're just like, bling, Mary Fons, Quilt Nerd live on Twitch. And you'd be like, yes. You're like, I have to go home. I'm sick. And so then you go watch the show, because who knows what's going to happen. So there won't be a Quilters newsletter on the 20th, like at the regular time. But just stay tuned, because there's all kinds of stuff happening because of the 25th birthday party gala celebration at the Quilt Museum. So I will be there in Lincoln. One of the things that will happen on the 20th is that Penny McMorris will be speaking. She's going to give this keynote address on Friday the 20th, and I get to live stream it. So there will be a show on Friday night. It will be not an old dusty magazine that we love to look at, but it will be the Penny McMorris. Now, Penny McMorris, I mean, where do we start? She hosted a television show for a long time about quilts. She wrote books about quilts. Didn't she start EQ? Didn't she? I'm wearing a silver bodysuit. SJ Pepper, you just solved it for me. Help, I'm small. Charles, thank you for saying help, I'm small. When I forget, if you're not familiar, when I'm like this, and then I go into the main thing, help, I'm small. I'm supposed to say that every time. Sometimes I forget, but Charles helps me out. Penny McMorris is a legend. She's amazing. I think she started EQ, didn't she? Electric Quilter, didn't she do that? Can someone else confirm? Patty Okra's back. I gotta catch up on the chat. Hey, okay, Jonathan's here. Happy birthday. Do we have a happy birthday emote? Yeah, you're 104 years old. It's true. It's true. Happy birthday. Do we? I thought we had something. I thought we had a birthday. Interesting. Oh, yes, we do. Yo Mary B-Day. Yo Mary B-Day is an emote. I think you get to access all those fun emoticons if you're a subscriber. So you'll have to find out. And mods, maybe you can help me out. But there is a birthday cake thing to wish Jonathan a happy birthday. But happy birthday, no matter what emoticon shows up on a small chat box in your life. Michelle Van Scrappy, hello. So watch the stream next week. I'll be doing things live from Lincoln. And if you can go to anything, I mean, I know there's COVID. I know COVID's happening. You're busy people. Nebraska may not be near where you are, but if you're around the area and you feel comfortable and can and all of those things, the events that will be taking place are free. There are many things to come and see. Hang on. Aha, look at this. Keynote speaker. Penny McMorris, Friday, May 20th. 5 p.m. in the reception hall in the museum. It's beautiful. Windows, gorgeous. Quilt Museum. And Penny will speak. But then the next day, Mary Kay Waldvogel will be speaking. Michael James will be speaking. And get this. Just get this. Rod Kirikoff, Barbara Brackman, Tara Miller, Jonathan Holstein, my mom, Michael James, who else? Penny McMorris. Like, we're talking some heavy. Hey, Padma, you're rat-proofing your house. Ugh, you're so responsible. These people and many more are going to be at the IQM Gala celebration. I mean, we're talking about like heavy hitter people, man. I'm just excited to breathe their air. And so, you can wear something fabulous if you want. You can come as you are. You can come in jeans. SJ Pepper is going to wear a silver bodysuit. And we're going to be twins because I'm going to do the same thing. We will not be the most interesting thing in the room. That's how cool this is going to be. So the events are free. You can go see Penny for free. You can go to the panel discussions for free on Saturday. And you can see quilts, and the exhibits are great. So if it's possible to get to Lincoln, go to the internationalquiltmuseum.org, and you can get the scoop. know, I mean, if nothing else, maybe kick a buck or two to the International Quilt Museum. You know how often I use the pictures that they have in their amazing collection here on the show. It couldn't be a show without them. I mean, it'd be a lesser show. So we're really glad they're here. Really glad it's 25 years. Congratulations. And yeah, I mean, I got to get my stuff to the dry cleaners. My friend used to call it clothes jail because sometimes he turned his dry cleaning in, but he couldn't pay for it. So they had to stay in close jail. L Riggs is going. L Riggs is going. Who else? Trying to keep the politicians out. That's funny. Penny Catherine, I like that. Oh yeah, I know. Actually, you're right. Breathing air. That's a bad thing. Quilt Kindness. I love your name. That's great. Quilt Kindness. Indeed. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the show. Maybe you must have been here before, but anyway, it's good to see you here. And yeah, she was a co-founder of EQ, Penny McMorris. So if you've ever used EQ, that's something that would make her super famous on its own. That's enough. But Penny McMorris has done even more than that. People have dancing boots on. I love it. Chanel. Oh God. What are you doing to me, Kenny? Kenny says do this. Great. Yes. Oh, it's so Liza. Oh, it's Liza. It's Liza Minnelli. Oh my God, I would love to wear that. Ugh, whatever. It's like $9 trillion, Kenny. What are you doing to me? Maybe next year. Quilt Kindness. Yeah, those welcome baskets are for you, Quilt Kindness. Welcome baskets are for anybody new or anybody coming back, for anybody who, I don't know, wants to feel some love. So let's talk about this quilt behind me. Thanks for letting me share a little bit about that event. Tune in to Quilt Nerd. There's gonna be a lot of fun stuff to see. So the quilt behind me, I have been wanting to use this quilt as an intro quilt for some time. Thanks, Saucy Stitcher. Hey, Little Bird Stitch. Oh, everybody's here. So this quilt is I found it in a book with some other unusual quilts. And I'm going to talk more about that book later because there's a good amount of, there's at least 6 or 7 quilts that I've scanned in that I want to share with you. So I'm not I won't reveal my source just yet, but it's a great book, and this quilt is really cool. So I am going to, that's right, I'm not buying new clothes. Thank you. Quilty Mouse, I'm so glad you're here. We love you too. So this is by Mimi Dietrich. This quilt is by Mimi Dietrich, and I want to just show you, before I tell you more about this one, hang on one second, I want to show you, this is Quilt Folk Magazine. It's the issue 21. The Maryland issue. And Mimi Dietrich usually makes quilts that look like this. She makes Baltimore, she's known for her Baltimore album quilt, Knowledge. This is a close-up of a quilt that was photographed at her house in Maryland. I think she either ran the Baltimore Applique Society. Oh God, that's, the BAS is the kind of society you don't want to, I don't want to get their name wrong. Baltimore Applique Society. Yeah, the Baltimore Applique Society, established in 1993. They're currently celebrating their 25th year as well. Way to go, Bass. Way to go. But Mimi Dietrich is part of that, part of that organization. She's delightful. Let's take a look. Look at how delightful she is. She's so delightful. You can tell. So this is a photograph taken of Mimi by Melanie Zacek for Quilt Folk Magazine. There she's working on her, her applique, just expert, fabulous. She's written books. She's really cool. She's an expert for sure. So I knew Mimi Dietrich as being this Baltimore album quilt, applique goddess. Okay. So I'm looking through this book, this older book, and I find, hey Myra, I find this quilt, and I'm like, well, that's cool. That's like weird and awesome. And I look down and it says, please let the children touch the quilts. Mimi Dietrich, 1985. What? Pieced cotton and soft sculpture, 18 by 36 inches, courtesy of the Peace Museum. Oh, I forgot to do that. I feel that someone in the chat may be able to look up the Peace Museum. Where is the Peace Museum? Tell me more. Quilty Mouse, it's so great to see you. So, and Saucy Stitcher and Patty Okra, this is great. So here's the deal. I am going to hide the chat for just a second so that you can see the quilt. In fact, I think, why don't I hide everyone, because you should, I want you to see the whole thing. So let me just, let me do that. And we can really see this whole thing. So help, I'm away. Oh no, that's not the thing. Don't do that. Okay, that you're away, and now I'm away. Help, I'm away. Okay, so it's called Please Let the Children Touch the Quilts. And yeah, soft sculpture. So Mimi made these little Cabbage Patch like hands of the little kids, these little shorties, and it says, oh, wait a minute now, the ribbon. Whoa. The ribbon? Hang on. Was this a panel for the ribbon? As in the ribbon thing, the thing that around the Pentagon? I bet it was. Oh my God, this is a big deal. Because if this, remember that? Look, this is for like the OG quilt nerds. Early on in making this show, we watched a documentary, remember? I think I found it on archive.org or some like deep cut, But it was about the ribbon. I don't know if I'm right, but early on, way before S.J. Pepper was even born, we watched a documentary, short film, whatever, about this woman who I think for nuclear disarmament or something, this isn't the Boise Peace Project we're talking about, the Boise Peace Quilt Project, but for like nuclear disarmament, she wanted to make a ribbon of quilts that extended, that would like wrap around the Pentagon and like, I don't know, further. It was like a really long chain of quilts, and people made panels. And it has to be that. Hold on. The Ribbon Project 1985 quilt. Yes, ribbon around the Pentagon. Bam. Ooh, I'm good. Okay, look, check this out. Right here, people. Look. The Ribbon International. Wow, I bet that's super interesting to look at. Sorry. Why don't I not show you that? How about I just keep it on the quilt and read this to you so you don't have to look at horrible text from Wikipedia while you're just trying to have a good time at a show. Okay, listen to this, just real quick, just real briefly, because I hadn't noticed this until I looked at it close up. The Ribbon International is a United Nations non-governmental organization that created a large decorated cloth promoting nuclear disarmament and care and protection of the earth. In an event held on August 4th, 1985, panels were connected in an 18-mile or 29-kilometer long strip stretching from the Pentagon into Washington, D.C. The event was covered in the film The Ribbon Starts Here, which we watched. Individual sections of the ribbon. Okay, here. I'll put this in here. Okay. I reconnected. Yes, Justine Merritt. Thank you, Lillian. Okay, Lillian. I had to reconnect my soundboard, and I have to do something because the Nerd Apple. I got to put the Nerd Apple in here. I don't know what happened, but I know just how to fix it. So this was made, so Mimi Dietrich made this for the Ribbon Project. I'm sorry, this is Quilt Nerd, so we nerd out about things like that, and I know I mean, not everybody knows about it, but that's a pretty cool thing. I'd never seen, you know, a ribbon panel that up close, and this is Mimi Dietrich, which is really interesting. So very cool. Let's continue. So thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I figured out, I was doing these videos for a short time called Mary Keeps You Company, and then I started the Twitch show, and then this is, if you wanted me to keep you company, this is it. I can't keep you company more. That's all I got, you know. But there are videos on my YouTube channel that I hope you'll watch. The film was so sweet. Dana remembers. Dana was there. Yes, exactly. Cool. Hey, Susan. 18 miles. Yeah, it's huge. That's why you love this show. Let's read what it says around the center of this quilt. Okay, so I have to do this. I should have written it down, but I didn't. So I'm going to read this side first. Quote, "Please let the children touch the quilts. Let my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren feel the warmth and the comfort and the peace in a handmade quilt." Peace. "Let them touch my quilts, my friends' quilts, the artists' quilts, and the pioneers' quilts. Let our quilts become antiques for our own great-grandchildren to touch, to feel our feelings, our creativity, our thoughts, and our lives. Don't destroy our grandmother's quilts. Oh! They are history, allowing us to touch our past. Ooh, girl. Give our children a future to touch, please." Mimi is bringing some wisdom, bringing some emotion. That's great. I love it. And isn't it sweet, these little hands? So that was a panel in the ribbon project. Very interesting. Yeah, I love it. Now, there's in the book, there's a little bit written about the different quilts in this particular book, which I will tell you about at a future date. But I scanned this in and I can't find the page. I don't know. I've lost the spine broke on the book because I was manhandling it. I was scan handling it. Get it? In the scanner. Scan handling. So I've misplaced the page, but it's here. It's somewhere, and I'll see. Perhaps Mimi talked about the ribbon project, or perhaps the author did, but it was way more fun to discover it this way. Oh, that's a book about the project. Really? I didn't know there was a book about the ribbon project. That's exciting. Ooh. Well, we're just going to have to get one of those. Interesting. I have to write that down. The ribbon book. Exclamation point. Excellent. Okay. So you want to see what we're going to do on Saturday? Again, this is not an announcement. I refuse to call this an announcement. No, it's part of the show, okay? This is exciting, okay? This is exciting. You ready for this? Look at this. And I don't want you reading ahead. I don't want you watching ahead. I just want you to know, but let me put the chat back up, hang on. I just want you to know that we are going to do a watch party on Saturday night. This is you all are so good. Thank you for looking that stuff up. Pemberito, I don't have an Abe Books link flex for that book because I didn't know it existed. But you know what? Soon, someone is going to help me make links to the Abe Book stuff on the fly. So you could be like, I have a book that's great. And I'll be like, help me make the link, and then the person will help me make the link, and it'll be instantly available because I am an Abe Books affiliate. And if you get books through quiltnerd.link and the extension, then I'm affiliated. So this is a video on YouTube. Don't read ahead. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for yourself, SJ Pepper. We're gonna watch this together. It's a 28-minute film. This is Saturday night. I want you to get your popcorn, get your whatever, whatever, pick your poison. And then we're gonna watch this old film. It's from 1971. And you know what? If Jonathan is, there's nothing. Thank you. If Jonathan's out there, which I know you are, this is kind of a nice thing to show you. Hey, hang on now. Okay, so there's this lovely woman, and she's I almost said knitting. Oh my god. It's about quilts in Kentucky, and it was made in 1971, and we're gonna watch it. And here's a little teaser because it's just really fun. Okay. I mean, 1971. Okay.
The tradition of piecework quilting extends far back into Kentucky history and continues unbroken today. There's an element of revival in modern attitudes toward this old-fashioned work. Renewed interest has sprung up, and as a result, many want to try their hand at quilt making, or if not that, to at least own a handmade quilt. There are too few authentic quilt makers left for us to enjoy today, but fortunately, Kentucky quilt makers have traditionally passed on their knowledge and skill from generation to generation. The expressions of individuality continue to please the many admirers of good quilting. Just what has caused this renewed interest in the handmade quilt? Could it be that modern woman wants to own something that's not only functional, but also satisfying and rich with association? Let's look into the art of quilt making for some answers.
Okay.
First, quilt is a very old word.
All right. Well, here's the thing. The reason I wanted to tell you,
ultimately, probably,
Jonathan, is because she mentions a very special exhibit that took place in 1971, the year this film was made. So it's Kentucky Heritage, Traditional Quilting in Kentucky, 1971. It's a PBS, WKU thing, and it's great. And we'll watch it, and it's so fun to watch that kind of stuff together because, I mean, that's our jam, So get your act together, okay? And come in here on Saturday night, and we'll watch it. And we'll talk about stuff. Good quilting, yeah. You know what, Pem Burrito? I don't like it when people have lots of work to do, but I'm glad you do, so you can't read ahead. Okay, let's get into some goods here, okay? So the first thing is also a trip down old lane. I saw this. So New York Magazine is one of my favorite. This is not an announcement. This is content. Okay, this is regular content. I saw this New York Magazine from 1973, April 30th, 1973. I think I read about it somewhere. This is one of those, again, deep cuts where I was reading some article or reading something and someone mentioned, like in an interview or something, I saw an article in New York Magazine in 1973 or somewhere. I wasn't like going through every issue of New York Magazine trying to see if there were quilts on the cover. I came across the fact that it existed at some point, and of course I had to go see if I could get a copy, and of course I did on eBay, and this has been some time ago. Gail Green, I know, Myra. I mean, just wait. S.J. Pepper, the cover of this magazine is my online dating profile. What do I want to say? What do I want to say to that? I don't know what to say. Whoa, it's a bit much. Okay. I feel like I love our sound cues. There's more. And Padma said we need like a sexy, we need like a racy, sexy sound cue. Like a that would be very good for this moment, Padma. I know, it's in my mind. So yes, so New York bedroom revealed. Lights, sheets, quilts, the swanky game show music. It's not this. No, that's the twang. I think I know what you mean. I know what you mean. There was other music. But swanky game show music is swanky game show. SFX and sexy. I mean, it's on like two different notes, Padma. It's not that I write these things down and never look at them. It's that, like, the task list is so long, but we need those spicy things. Okay. Wolf whistle. Ooh, I like that. I do have a dog. I'd have to connect it again. Yeah, poly sheets. I mean, and this quilt looks pretty puffy. So it looks like a sort of a polyfill thing. Anyway, I love this time period. I love the cover of this magazine, and I love New York Magazine. I have subscribed to New York Magazine for a very long time because it is great. Oh, a kissing sound. That's good. That's very good. So, Bridgewater, have I said hi to you? I'm not sure, but I say hello. Oh, yeah. It has the poly. It has the poly. So you could say that these people, there's a poly element. I'm sorry, it's lame. Okay, so there's an article about quilts in here, okay? Obviously. Or maybe not obviously, but there is. But what I did with this is I scanned a few other pictures from it, or a few other pages, just because it's fun. This isn't long. The meat of the show tonight are these unbelievable, exceptional, ridiculous, fascinating quilts from Oklahoma. Of this book, Oklahoma Heritage Quilts, and yes, there is an Abe link, an Abe Books link. quiltnerd.link/Oklahoma. So that's really the meat of the show. But I want to share this with you, and because there's only one picture with the article, I thought I would share just a few of the other things that are in this, in this magazine. I mean, it's really, really interesting. I love the fashion. I love the fashion in the 70s. I really do. There's something about a cacharel girl, clean and crisp as the flowers peeking out under fine line stripings, the waist nipped in, the pants rather jeansy. Saks Fifth Avenue. But you know what? Talk about problematic. Watch this. Look at this. Well, this is for the Russian tea room. That was great. Dostoevsky's wife rewarded him luli kebab after each chapter of Crime and Punishment. Come, be inspired. The Russian tea room. Actually, no. Yeah, that's the Russian tea room. Thank you. Yes, that was a bit of a flex. Charles is eating ranch-flavored kettle chips tonight. Ranch? You know what? I'm not a ranch fan, but I feel like chips could be good. Okay, here we go. You know what? I put that bar over her breasts because I thought, you know what? I could get dinged for this because she was nude. But look at this. Isn't this terrible? I mean, I think we've come a long way, you guys. Flabby girls sink in summer. The only way to put a flabby body in shape is intelligent, sensible exercise. I mean, intelligent, sensible exercise, cool. Calling somebody flabby and being like, it's just lame. Everything is terrible. Try classes run by professional dancers and yoga experts. I guess some things never change. Use Chrome body gadgets. You know what's funny? When I think Chrome, I think Google Chrome. The internet was so far away. God, nobody understands. Nobody understood at that time what was happening. Well, I mean, some people did, but anyway, they knew what was coming, but I wasn't born yet. You know what? There was a time in my life, let's just look at her. There was a time in my life when I was very, very scared of death. It happened to me early. I realized I was going to die. I was very concerned, very scared about that. But I realized at one point, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, everybody. Somebody mentioned JFK and how he died, and he was killed. And I was like, and everybody's always like, where were you when it happened, Where were you when JFK was shot? And I remember thinking, well, I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't anywhere. And I was like, oh, where was I then? Where was I when JFK was shot? Where was I? And I realized, and I was very consumed with a fear of death, but then I thought, well, wherever I was, that wasn't so bad. So maybe it's okay. Anyway, so when I say this is from 1973 and like everything was problematic and a disaster, I wasn't there. Where was I? I don't know. But if that's where I go after I die, this is fine. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Patty Okra. Ads like that were the reason for the protest. Patty Okra, God bless you. Yes. That boo is from The Princess Bride, if you aren't familiar. Yeah, boo indeed. They're just, oh yeah. L Riggs has got the bees, the mad bees in the chat. Exactly. A nun maker, it's good to see you. They're just wrong. Fat floats. That's very good. That's very funny. Yes. Oh, we need a ba-dum-ching. So yeah, okay, very rational. Sorry, I had to talk about my weird thing. A very rational $54. Pemberito says, what the patriarchal body standards is this? Exactly, rational. What is that about? Pretty body. Pretty body. Call today and watch a class for free. I mean, everybody deserves to float through summer with a pretty body. Gross. Okay, but then, and there's just a couple more, but this I thought you might want to know, especially for Quilters Newsletter Friday or Saturday Night Quilt Nerd. Look at this. I never heard about this. Ice cubes made from tonic water. And Seagram's gin for a perfect gin and tonic. Have you ever made ice cubes with tonic water? Maybe everyone who likes gin and tonics knows about this. I'm 42 years old. I've been of age for some time. Never heard of it. Love it. I'm into it. I know, Padma. That's what I'm saying. It's very existential. It's intense. Maybe I was drinking gin and tonics with tonic water ice cubes. With cherubim. Here's the times have changed with the coffee. Look, filters and Max Pack coffee. I don't know. Anyway. So, okay, let me just show you the good heavens. There's one other thing I'll show you, but this is what we came for. So this is the article about the quilts, y'all. And it's this. So I'm gonna read to you some of this article, okay? Now, I want to, interesting. Takes note of tonic ice cubes. Yeah, see, me too. I think that's it's a good idea. All right, so let me just read to you a little bit of this article. I won't read the whole thing, but this is one of those moments where if you are listening in the car or you are doing something else, you can focus on that because I don't have another image to show you because this is the only image that was with the article. But I want to read to you some of this article because it's very interesting. So we may have a static screen. You just have to listen to the dulcet tones of my voice. All right. Things of Shred and Patches and Dreamy Lullabies. Okay. By Jane Ginesi. Ginesi? Not sure. It's interesting writing. Okay. It is a nice, yeah, it's a great photo. Actually, let me do this. Okay. No matter what happens, making our beds will never be the same again now that I'm worried about those old brittle threads. Because you see, we have quilts. We didn't get them from the burgeoning number of small stores which vie in the scramble to offer at astonishing, but one must concede probably justified, prices the vibrant, touching, and original handiwork of the American woman's skillful needle. We had our quilts, which my grandmother and mother guarded and cherished so that I, weary of mothballs and cardboard boxes in the attic, could profligately spread the inheritance on our beds. Profligately. I can't ever say it. I can only now say indefatigable. Took me a long time. Now, however, no more reverent, because I always loved them, but a lot less innocent about their worth, I catch myself wondering, should my daughter and her friends be sitting all over that double wedding ring valued at $350? Remember, this is 1973. And have things changed that much? Anyway, okay. This is why we do this. And perhaps we should pack up the twin blue and white broken dishes for posterity. My husband dares to suggest, never in my mother's hearing, that the whole lot might better be sold and the proceeds invested in the stock market. Of course, that fevered and unpredictable arena, as the quilt dealers delight in pointing out, can't begin to show the stately upward curve of the market in quilts that began a number of years ago with the revived interest in American handicrafts. Oh, this is the compliment, Jonathan. It's not in the Kentucky thing. Maybe, but this is where I read it. The enthusiasm culminated in the brilliant 1971 Whitney show, Abstract Design in American Quilts. Now, women's liberationists respect quilts as examples of feminine achievement. It's a little more complicated than all that, Jane, but yes, correct. Oh, and listen to this. You ready for this? You ready for this? Artists like Kenneth Noland, Andy Warhol, and James Dine, D-I-N-E, collect them for their extraordinary visual power. Did you know that Andy Warhol was a quilt collector? I did not. And those interested, you know what? There's a research paper. There's a research project. Andy Warhol's quilts. Come on. You could, if that's what you were focused on and you went for it, you could find out something. You could find out a lot. Maybe you could find out, how cool would it be? How cool would you be if you were the person who wrote a paper or a thing, an article, whatever, a book about Andy Warhol's, the quilts that Andy Warhol had? I mean, please, S.J. Pepper, if you're still there, don't say anything. Don't say anything, no. I mean, come on, somebody, I mean, that is like the coolest thing. If you want quilts to have like a cool cachet, Andy Warhol's quilt collection, I mean, it's probably, I don't know, does it exist anymore? Probably not, I don't know. But talk to people. There's an Andy Warhol museum in Philadelphia. Call them up. Okay, so I want to read this whole thing, but I have to be a good host and feel the room. Of course, I can't see any of you or hear anyone, but yes, an Andy Warhol quilt collection show. Oh, remember that night? Yes, Threadist. Remember that 1960s sound engineer that was a collector, and you showed his movies. Yes, the seminal patchwork. Harry Smith was his name, and he cataloged folk music, kind of like A.P. Carter. But yeah, that was amazing. I loved that show. I loved that show so much. Mother Nature, thank you for such great dialogue on my hour drive home this evening. Mother Nature, this is like the show for you tonight, because I'm going to keep reading this. You know what? I want to read this. I really want to read it. It's not that long, and it's really interesting. So I'm going to go for it, you guys. And if you if it's go, you can go do something if it's not your jam. But I think there's other folks who need this. And you know what? This is for you, Mother Nature, because you're driving and you want to listen to this, and this is for you. Okay. Okay. But so if I miss stuff in the chat, oh, you're talking about Jen. Everyone's talking about Jen. Keep talking about Jen. Oh, sale of Andy's Marilyn on TV right now. Tani says, right when I was talking about Andy Warhol, she's watching TV and there's the sale of Andy Warhol's Marilyn was on TV right when I said it. We don't try. It just happens. Okay. I got a lot of energy tonight, you guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. Wait a minute. Now, fashion designer Valentino offers American quilts in his boutique in Rome. Excuse me? Valentino. Oh, Valentino. Really? Oh. Wow. I mean, Valentino, sorry, I've got to keep going or we're not going to get through it. While English and French dealers compete with Americans in scouring the countryside from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma and Hawaii, one wonders when the United States will promulgate its own National Treasures Act to prohibit the export of fine examples of quilting art. Oh, interesting. For it is art, folk art, of the most gutsy and captivating intensity, as personal a reflection of our nature's history as anything else we have. Interesting. And of course, you can disagree with these folk art distinctions or whatever. This is from 1973. We're reading it as it is. The names bequeathed to an infinity of patterns tell the tale. London roads, ocean waves, lost ship. She names like 9,000 of them. Wow, a lot. She needed to get to word count. New quilts are being made, but collectors are interested only in the old ones, very few samples of which survive from the 18th century. New quilts are regarded by connoisseurs as slavish imitations of old patterns. ouch. They lack the spontaneity and grit that give old quilts their special flavor. I don't totally disagree, but she had no idea how it was going to go. Collectors are divided among those who are attracted to exciting graphic design and those who honor elegant needlework. I think she's, yeah, okay. The quilt that has both is the prize. Value is measured by uniqueness of design, quality of stitchery, condition. Many old quilts have never been used or washed. Provenance, sometimes a history penned in faded ink will accompany a quilt. And finally, such special attributes as interesting fabrics or an extraordinary border. An impressive collection, by far the most expensive in the city, is to be found at Quilt Gallery, 55 East 86th Street. Antique quilts only that start at $200 are shown by appointment. So wait a minute, let me look at the picture. Promulgate. Oh. Promulgate, learn to pronounce verb promote. Learn to pronounce verb promote. Or make widely known. Learn to pronounce, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Promote or make widely known. To promulgate, right. To promulgate. So here's who this is. Let me just jump ahead here. A panoply of quilts. Wow, really going for the words. Okay. City quilt dealers hold up some of their finest examples, clockwise starting at top center. Okay. Bill Goff. I don't know some of these names, you guys. This is great. This is great. Watch, Bill Goff will like come up like next week, you know. Bill Goff of Quilt Gallery with Valentine Quilt. Okay. Vermont, circa 1850, sold for sale $700, listed here in 1973. Clockwise starting. Okay. This is Molly Epstein of American Quilts. Okay. These are all dealers. These are all people in New York City who are selling quilts in 1973. It's crazy. She's holding up a 4 Stars of Bethlehem for $350. Virginia Maple of The Gazebo. Stairs of Illusion. Stairs of Illusion. It's tumbling blocks, please. Gloria List of None Such Limited. Carolina Lily. I think they skipped one. Okay. Well, there's Linwood and there's Jolie Kelter and there's just, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So these are like heavy hitter dealers, you know? So, okay. I mean, what else I think that's good. That's good. She's talking about different things. How about this? There's a little bit here. Oh yeah. So Quilt Gallery. So this guy here is from Quilt Gallery, the guy up at the top. So let me just read a little bit of this. Okay. Antique quilts only at Quilt Gallery are shown by appointment. Wow. The energetic mistress of the enterprise is Rhea Goodman. I know, just a minute. I'm muting you while that thing goes by. Wow. Kenny, you found a Warhol quilt. OMG. Did y'all click on that? There was a pieced brown calico geometric quilt. It was sold in the 1988 Sotheby's Andy Warhol collection auction. Dude. Joys of city life, indeed. Somebody do a paper on that, okay? There's just a couple quotes that are interesting. So Rhea Goodman is in charge of one of these galleries, and she's a small, slender blonde. She must have been going to those classes. With big gray eyes and a background in graphic arts. She emphatically declares, quote, "Establishment quilts bore me," unquote. By way of explaining, she whipped out what seemed to be a quite bearable New York State quilt, circa 1845 to 55, in red, green, and white, and invited my inspection. Quote, "See all those tight, precise stitches, all very regular, no deviation? A pattern follower made it." Oh, sorry. A pattern follower made it. Unquote. She shrugged depreciatingly. The quilt, in superb condition with lots of carefully stitched in hearts and shells, was not a terribly original interpretation of the carpenter's wheel pattern. Ms. Goodman found it too pretty, too conventional to fit her selection criteria of tough compositional problems excitingly solved. The price was $600. Quote, "I prefer the women who let themselves fly a bit." Okay, we'll be like her. "Their own artistry dictated what was right, and if they had it in them, it showed in their quilts." Unquote. She finds more congenial something in like the Pennsylvania quilt she showed me, which had bright white pinwheels appliqued in red, green, and orange, with some Calder-like images in the four corners. It was priced at a whopping $850. Okay, you know what I'll do? If you're interested in this, and I want to share things with you. So it's this, and it's this. Okay. I'll scan it and I'll put it in the Discord. And if you're not a subscriber, you should be a subscriber because you get like goodies like that, you know? This New York Magazine 1973 article about quilts being sold in New York City. New York City. That's a great picture. It's really good. Oh, L Riggs coming in. Nice. $350. About $1,600 today. Interesting. Yeah, that's great to know that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Susan, it's so good to see you. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna take 2 seconds, okay? 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna show you this woman, you know, who was like all about the quilts that, you know, were different. Can I just tell you? Can I just let me just tell you? Some of the stuff that you're gonna see is going to blow you away. I mean, this book is look at this. Look at this. "This, my son, I done asking God to bless you when mother is gone." It's just a taste of what we're gonna see. I have like, I don't know, 15 quilts to talk about. And the thing what's written about these quilts, you know, it's short in this book, but it's wonderful. This is one of the best state books there is, the Oklahoma book. And if you want to get it, which I think you should, all the books I recommend are out of print, so you have to go to a books to get them, or you know, a used bookstore or so forth. So anyway, use that link and get a copy of this book for cheap. It's great, and I'm gonna tell you some wonderful stuff about these quilts. Hey, Penny Candy. Oh, thank you for following. I'm so glad that you did, because there's gonna be a lot of exciting stuff happening next week, because I'll be in Lincoln, Nebraska at the International Quilt Museum, and I'll be live, you know, from there. And there's a lot of fun stuff going on because it's the 25th anniversary of the museum. So if you follow, you get a notification when I go live, and now you're going to do that. Or you'll get a notification. I'm glad you're here. So I'll be right back, a quick break, and then I'll share with you some just really wonderful quilts. And yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, so good energy in the room tonight. I mean it. Okay, so I gotta get small. Make it small. No problem, small. You know, some people play music throughout their entire stream. I think it's a little I don't think I should do that, but I don't know. Let me know if you like it. Because if you like it a lot, then I can just do it. Pam, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing that directory. If you're part of this community and you want, you know, to share your social media handles and stuff, we have a directory. It's not like your address or anything. You know, it's your social media stuff. You should put it out there, you know? This is a pretty cool community and we're interested in what you're doing, you know? So, okay, so this is Oklahoma Heritage Quilts. Many of you will know, not everybody knows about it, but in the 80s and 90s and up until today, I know that there are state documentation efforts going on today too. But in the 80s and 90s, in particular, there were so many of these state documentation projects, quilt documentation projects. And I know that that's true because so many books on my shelf are state documentation books. You know, these books came from those efforts. So, for example, Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma would have, you know, there were people in Oklahoma who would host or produce quilt documentation days, quilt days. And they would get the word out, you know, probably in the local paper, you know, among other things. But they would say, you know, bring your quilts to this church, you know, basement or something on this particular day or over this particular weekend. And they would document using whatever system they had devised, you know, they would document the quilts that existed in their state that they could document because people had brought them to these quilt days. And it's really cool. And it's just part of the fun of all of that. I mean, of course, it's useful and it's important, and it's just amazing that we have that. Like, it's just amazing that we have these books. Not every state did a book, but a lot of them did. And I should actually go through and look at which states did, you know? I mean, Texas, there's a few of them, I think. Anyway, but I wonder which, you know, how many did and who didn't, right? Who didn't do it? But just because I'm curious. I mean, some of the books are just, they're just phenomenal. So Oklahoma is one of the ones that I think is my favorite. Georgia, Illinois is pretty good. Georgia, Oklahoma, what else? I'm blanking on some of the best ones. Well, of course, you know, Tennessee. And yeah, Tennessee. Well, Susan, you said it. Patty Okra has not figured out the Discord yet. The timeline seems to have different days mixed together. You know what, Patty? The Discord, let's talk about the Discord. Remind me to talk about the Discord before the stream's over. I'll save it to the end, but I can give you a brief rundown. And you know, the mods are really great too. But we want you to, you know, you should be in there because it's super fun. But it takes a little time to, you know, maneuver around there. I had never used Discord in my life before this whole thing, so I feel you. So this book here, it was published in, you can see there at the bottom, the Oklahoma Quilt Heritage Project. It was published by the Oklahoma Quilt Heritage Project, published by the American Quilters Society, and the author is listed as the Oklahoma Quilt Heritage Project. And the AQS is the Paducah, Kentucky based organization, the Paducah show, the Quilt Week and all that. So it was published in 1990. Oh, Quilty Mouse, you're an Okie, you got to get this book. If there were just like 2 copies left of this book, I would want you to have one, you know, as an Oklahoma person. Wait a minute, Susan R. Michael. You're in Oklahoma too, right? Right? Aren't you? Anyway, okay. Let's do this. So this is dedicated to quilters known and unknown. It's gonna blow your mind. Okay, you ready for this? So they go through the different the areas of the state. They go through how the quilt days were, sort of arranged, how they were organized. They talk about the different nations in Oklahoma. They talk about sort of the timeline of the land grab stuff. They talk sensitively, I feel, about the complicated history of Oklahoma. This quilt. I mean, I picked. There's so many good ones, but I picked like really extra good ones. Now, this quilt is not like the most like crazy looking quilt you've ever seen. It's not like wildly, weird. But this is the oldest quilt. This is the oldest quilt registered in the Oklahoma Quilt Heritage Project. Now, are you ready for this? Mimi Dietrich is in your guild, Mother Nature. She's a really nice lady. She's so nice. And she often teaches classes. You have got to tell her what we did, what we looked at. She'll be so tickled. You have to tell her. Tickled. This quilt was made in 1771. What? That's old. And that it's in Oklahoma is, to me, kind of crazy. And maybe a quilt historian will be like, oh, there's lots of those quilts in Oklahoma. You'd have no idea what you're talking about. And I would agree with them. But usually, these 1770 quilts are in New England. So here's what I can tell you. But it's inscribed 1771 in satin stitch on the lining. You can see the chintz. There's a chintz border. And that's, that's a giveaway, a dead giveaway that, there's some old fabrics in this quilt. But it's patchwork though too, lots of little patchwork, it's just really interesting when you look at quilts from that time period that are in the United States, or, a lot of time they were purchased and imported, they weren't even made here. So it's just, to me, having this in Oklahoma is like totally wild. So by far, this is the oldest quilt registered in the Oklahoma Quilt Heritage Project. It has French copperplate border, and pieced blocks made from finely woven linen. I know, Bridgewater, it's crazy. It's a crack up. It's a total crack up. The year 1771 is embroidered on the lining, and a history has been kept with each owner recorded. Records in the family possession state that the quilt's first recipient was Empress Josephine. What? Empress Josephine? Empress Josephine. The first, oh, shut up! Or no way! Oh my God! What? No. You keep the Josephine. You seriously? This is not a lecture. This is not a presentation. This is an exploration. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? You're not ready. The quilt's first recipient was Empress Josephine, first wife of Napoleon Bonaparte. What? Yeah, Miss Eleni. Yeah. And we know that's really true. Records in the family's possession state the quilt's first recipient was Empress Josephine, first wife of Napoleon Bonaparte. Sorry, I don't know. I never thought that, I've never seen a quilt that Napoleon's wife used. That's crazy. That's a wow. That's a big wow. Oh my God, Susan R. Michael. Get out of town, my great cats. Exactly. I'm out. I'm leaving town. I'm sorry. That's Let's see what else they have to say. There's no indication of who made the quilt. Josephine gave it to her lady in waiting. What? Martha Blar, B-L-A-R, Blar. Martha Blar, who married a Mr. Miller and immigrated to New York. Great. I don't know. With her on the journey was her nurse, Rosina Haller, who married a Mr. Stiefel, I don't know. Excuse me. When Mrs. Miller died in 1834, she left the quilt to Nurse Stiefel, S-T-I-F-A-L. I don't know, Stiefel. The Stiefel family moved to Ohio and then to Illinois, but the Empress Josephine quilt was cherished as a very special heirloom. Well, yeah. There are 100 of the pieced blocks, each 4.5 square. They alternate between a 9-patch design and a square on point. The quilt top and lining are of fine woven linen. You know what this, look where this quilt is found. You know where we found this quilt? Here. That's where we found it. Ivy Kadivy. Hello. It's good to see you. Look, this. In this dusty old book, you know? Sorry, I've never seen this quilt before. You know? It wasn't in 100 Best Quilts book. It probably didn't qualify for their criteria, but you know, you see the same quilts over and over again. That tumbling block quilt we see everywhere. Like, okay, it's great. Can we talk about Empress Josephine? I mean, Napoleon and Josephine, like, I'm saying, you know, it's a quilt. You put a quilt on a bed. It's sexy. Not tonight, Josephine. You know, not tonight. Anyway, they talk about the thing. I mean, they're talking about the construction. We know of all this. The condition is amazingly good, and the damaged portions. But wait a minute. Yeah, how did it get to Oklahoma? Well, I mean, somebody ended up in Oklahoma because they moved to Ohio and then to Illinois. I mean, they were in Oklahoma. I mean, this thing came to Oklahoma. It says owner, Rosianna Holstein Psalm. Holstein. Not tonight, Josephine. Thank you. You got it, M. Sujan. I mean, the condition is amazingly good, and the damaged portions are found in the 9 patches where a brown print fabric was used. Cool. You know why I picked that quilt? Because I'm scanning all these different quilts, and I was like, oh, cool, the oldest. I was like, great. Oh, 1771. Wow. And that's all I read. That's why I don't read ahead on this show, because I want to read with you. Okay. That one took a while. I'll try not to get up and freak out on every quilt. Okay, original fruit tree design. That's what this one's called. Napoleon complex. It was more like a not tonight Napoleon. Exactly. It's like not tonight Napoleon. I have a headache. Original fruit tree design. Okay, Elizabeth Jane Ray Jenkins. There's a maker for all of these quilts. Inscribed. This is what it says. Grel Jenkins was born January 30, 1969. This, my son, I done asking God to bless you when mother is gone. This, my son, I done asking God to bless you when mother is gone. 62 by 81. This charming original fruit tree quilt is a design in naive folk art style, was made by Elizabeth Jenkins, a Missouri native and a mother of 15 children. Elizabeth made this quilt for her son, Robert. Yeah. Now, there's something weird. So there's wonderful quilts I'm going to show you, including many made by many Native Americans in this book, of course, because it's Oklahoma, you know. But look at this. This is weird. So Moss Rose. Here's this down here. It says Mary Lindsay and her daughter Lydia Ann were assisted. Hold on. In the making of this quilt by slaves, referred to by the family as, quote, household helpers. These trusted helpers were taught sewing and quilting and were proficient at, quote, doing fine seams. Family history records that the Lindsays were loved by their slaves. I mean, this is always like really suspect to me. Like, oh, they were good slave owners. Like, at this point, we really have to be like, really? Because everybody always says that. It's like, well, they had slaves, but they were really nice. Like, I don't know, maybe that's true, but like, you have to read that with a critical eye. But anyway, I mean, if you want slaves, like, but family history records that the Lindsays were loved by their slaves who refused to leave the family when freed. I mean, there's just a lot there. But anyway, the point is there's no quilt here. Like, this is like there's not there. Moss Rose. I mean, right? Am I missing something? There's a quilt missing. Naive, yeah. The barber pole, the Hexies. I know it's that fruit. The one was a fabulous quilt. Quilt React. So. I mean, so anyway, this is just a drag. I mean, I feel like it's an omission by mistake. I really do feel like something happened. They didn't have the plate in the right place. Is it on the previous page? No. This is the previous page, and each quilt has its thing. I mean, and it doesn't say overleaf or anything. It's super weird, but I really wanted to see it, so it's a drag. But I wanted to show you that because it's an interesting thing. Okay, this is great. Listen to this. Log Cabin Streak of Lightning, made by Serena Josephine, Guy Carter, 1868. Serena Guy Carter made this log cabin quilt before the birth of her son, Charles D. Carter. Of Chickasaw descent, Mrs. Carter was then a resident of Ardmore, Indian Territory. Tribal custom at that period dictated that such quilts be retained by the recipient and at his death be used to keep the body warm until burial. Charles Carter's quilt remained with him, even in Virginia, where he resided during the 20 years of his tenure as the first United States congressman from Carter County, Oklahoma. Charles married, The quilt, glass negatives of family photos, and an array of family memorabilia were sold to a Virginia antiques dealer shortly before Julia's death in 1897. In 1987. Fortunately, a brief note had been pinned to the quilt. Thus, the dealer, after research through genealogical records in Oklahoma, contacted this person, Robert Perry, an avid researcher of Cherokee customs and the Trail of Tears. Perry's grandmother, Sophie, had been adopted and reared by Serena Carter, the quilt maker. Wow! An orphan of Cherokee descent, Sophie was a distant relative of William R. Guy, the father of the quilt maker. That was a lot, but that's really amazing. So this is a detective story. So this quilt, people cared about it enough to keep it nice. And now we have this story, and now we know this piece of these people, It's pretty cool. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I know. I want to be buried in a quilt. Obviously. Okay, check this one out. We gotta get moving here because look at this. Not much about this one, but this is Linsey Woolsey, so it's linen and wool. It was made by Alice Cochran Nichols. And you remember the wonderful Kentucky quilts, sunburst kind of thing? This is kind of thing, remember that? The cover of the Kentucky quilt documentation book had that kind of starburst kind of thing. It's a fan block, it's a wheel block, but the colors and things remind me of the cover of that Kentucky book. Anyway, Alice Cochran Nichols made this. Alice and her mother, Almeda, created this quilt in a true pioneer fashion. Their labor, here's why I wanted to show you this one. Be grateful for your lives. Their labor included raising sheep and shearing them with scissors, washing the wool, spinning, dyeing, and weaving the fabric. For added strength in the fabric, they used linen threads from the poorer grade flax, and the family called this homemade fabric Linsey wool or Linsey Woolsey. We have fabric pretty much available. We do the things that we do with it. We make a quilt, but they made the fabric and then they made the quilt. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Okay. But it's great, it's fantastic. Okay, here we go. This is really good. Hold on. That one, I have to do this one. Hang on. Well, okay, all right. They're all really great. Sorry. No, hold on. I have to read you this one. I'm skipping ahead. Because this one is gonna blow your mind. It's so not okay. So I just recently watched 127 Hours. About Aaron Ralston. the hiker that, you know that movie? And that's why this is like, when I read this, listen to this. New York Beauty. Martha Susan Woolley Pettyjohn. 1902. Yeah, well, no. Okay. Quilts were, this is an amazing story. Quilts were made for all the milestones of life. Birth, graduations, weddings, even death. In some early day communities, it was customary to use a quilt to line the homemade wooden casket. This quilt was made for that purpose by the grandmother of Walter Darras Eoff. Oh my God, somebody just walked past my thing. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Someone just walked past the glass door. That really scared me. Okay, back to this. At age 6, Darras broke his arm. The bone protruded. Infection set in, and the arm was amputated in 2 surgeries, first at the elbow, and then, when the infection continued to spread, oh God, at the shoulder, then another amputation at the shoulder. Surgery took, oh God. Surgery took place at on the family's kitchen table, and it was assumed that he would not live. His grandmother, Mrs. Pettyjohn, made this quilt to be buried with him. I can't. Oh my God. He recovered. Darras, and he moved with his family to Indian Territory, and then later to western Oklahoma. Darras Eoff died in Shawnee, Oklahoma in 1954 at the age of 60 years. Of course, by then, customs had changed, and his death quilt survives as a special heirloom. Yeah. Wow, right? Oh my God. I mean, man. You know, it's cooler to save them. It's just cooler to like protect them and save them. I know that not everybody can. I mean, I can't save all my quilts. People can't save all their quilts for a million reasons, you know, but at least get it featured in a book. It's all complicated. Isn't that amazing, you guys? Sandy tries, I made a rag quilt for a coworker and he was buried with it. Really? Sandy, wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's amazing. People are intense. Threadist. Well said. People are intense. They are intense. Look, this is this beautiful girl. Look at her. Young Choctaw mother with baby. Oh, God. Look at her. God, she's so sweet. Look at her face. Her face. Oh, she's so sweet. Okay. Okay, let's just do a few more here. Do a few more. Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, look at this one. This is amazing. This is amazing. Look at this one. How about that? How about that? Oklahoma became a state in 1907. Oh, Miss Elaney, she was a fast quilter, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that, can you imagine? Oh, God help us all. Home surgery. We have no idea, you know? Okay. This quilt is called This Little Pig Went to Market. It was made by Bessie Mabel Jackson Shi, S-H-I, in Oklahoma, 1934 to 1935. This quilt is so sweet. I'm telling you, the Oklahoma documentation quilt it's one of the best. Just the variety of quilts and the stories, that what they have, that what the editors chose to include. Dynamite. I mean, that story about the child's arm and like his death quilt. I mean, come on. That's just amazing. Okay. Bessie Shi had 2 grandchildren born in February 1933, for whom she made identical quilts based on the 3 Little Pigs story. Her 3rd grandchild was born in 1934 and received a quilt of the same size but with a different pattern. This time, the subject was This Little Pig Went to Market. And it is thought that an area newspaper was the pattern's source. Of Choctaw Indian heritage, Bessie was born in the Jimtown settlement near Ardmore in Indian Territory. And at age 15, she married Dr. A.H. Shee, S-H-I. Did I say that? In 1907, the railroad came through the area and they moved to Stratford, Oklahoma, building the home in which their children and 8 grandchildren were born. She was a skilled needlewoman, but was also remembered as the first woman in Stratford to learn to drive a car. A feat which many women of her generation never accomplished. Look at you driving that car. How cool. That's another thing I've noticed about this Oklahoma book. There are a number of very specifically like awesome, I mean, I'm sure all of the women that they, you know, I mean, women are awesome, whatever, that's not what I mean. But there's like a couple pictures of women like atop a horse, and it was like, you know, this particular Oklahomian was, you know, an expert rider or something. There's just like a lot of dignity in this book, you know, it's really cool. I think it's embroidery. Yeah, it's a good question, Charles, because well, who can help with that? Because there's applique. I mean, obviously, like the pig and the trees and stuff, that's applique, but then it's embroidered around. I mean, it's like red work, only it's not, you know, red thread. It's embroidery, but it's an interesting effect, isn't it? You know, because red work, there's not applique in red work. There's just the outlines of things. It's really successful. I mean, it's wonderful. So maybe it was a newspaper pattern, they're saying. Either way, it's really cool. Okay. Oh, look at this one. Let's keep this vibe going. Look at that. This is interesting because, page 112. I figured out how good it is to, like, when I'm naming the files after I scan, to put the page numbers, because see, now I know right where to go. Illustrative, exactly. So look at this. So this is obviously Disney. But this caught my eye up here. Look it up there by the chat. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So made by Billy Newton Menifee. Quilter unknown. Oklahoma City. Movies were popular entertainment during the 1930s. Oh yeah, this was made in 1939. When Billy Menifee was expecting her first child, she made this delightful quilt top and sent it to Walt Disney for his autograph. His signature was embroidered to preserve it. So Walt came through and he did. Yes, Robin. He signed it. He signed the quilt and then they embroidered over it to keep it there. His signature was embroidered to preserve it. The baby born was a son, James Calvin Menifee. He married Joyce, and in 1967, when she was expecting her first child, her mother-in-law presented the quilt to her as a special gift at a baby shower. So Billy made it for her first child, and then she gave it to her daughter-in-law when she was having her first. I mean, it's so sweet. That is cool. With a K, Jan. I couldn't agree more. It's fabulous. Yeah, Walt Disney signed the quilt and then they kept it. They kept it. Okay, so this is interesting. Look at this. This is like a brief, like, quilt nerd thing. The story isn't necessarily so interesting, but I mean, look at the construction here. Those are all half square triangles in like this blown up like hexy. I'm gonna keep zoomed out actually so you can see like how they did that. All of those hexies, those larger hexies, are made of half square triangles. That's pretty impressive to me, you know. That's pretty impressive. That's a lot. I mean, you know, if you make quilts, half square triangles don't scare you that bad, but I mean, that's pretty intense. Padma, I think you're right. I think that Walt Disney quilt would be worth a lot. Because, I mean, he really autographed it. And then, yeah, I think it's a big deal. So, that's really something, isn't it? I don't know if there's like wicked good. I like that. I should use that term more. Wicked. That's wicked good. Okay. So cool, right? Pretty interesting. Let me go to, I mean, there's just, oh, this is great construction wise too. I don't know if the story is page 59. Hang on. But this is just a great quilt. I mean, you know, it's just, I love the dark brown and I love the little blue calico, you know, brown and blue, you know, brown and blue works. It does, it works. CB Mac's gotta go. CB Mac, you're the best. Thanks for coming, CB Mac. We love it when you're here. I'm glad you could come to the show. Be safe out there. It's weird again. We'll see it hopefully on Saturday. It's going to be a great show. We're not just going to watch that Kentucky quilt video. We're going to do some other stuff, but it'll be a gas. This was made by Etta Mauser Coleman. This 1930s quilt of the snowball type employs a seldom seen pattern published in the Kansas City Star. The quilt maker, Etta Coleman, was an Arkansas native who later came to Indian Territory with her parents. She married in 1892 and bore 11 children. Oh yeah, this is another reason why I picked this one. By the time this quilt was pieced, Mrs. Coleman was legally blind, yet she managed to continue piecing quilts by feel. It's not the first time I've oh, good Sibby. Sibby's gonna be here Saturday. Yeah, by feel, a blind person making quilts. I mean, I've heard it many times. You know, that was something that was done by people who figured it out. I have no idea how. It's amazing. Okay, this one. Oh, this is great. This one's great. It's called Idle Hands. Is that right? Busy Hands. 120. Okay, I'm going to read from the book. Busy Hands, Maker Unknown. Isn't this great, these hands? Of course, hands show up, you know, in quilts a fair amount. Appliqued hand motifs, hearts and hands. You know, my mother has used hands in several of her applique quilts. She traced my younger sister Rebecca's hands for one of her really masterwork quilts, you know. But we've seen them before. Especially in red and white quilts. There's just a lot of hands in red and white quilts, I think. I've seen a number of them. I could pull up 5 of them right now if I wanted to, pretty easily. This one it's an Oklahoma quilt, of course. It was made in 1890, roughly. Appliqued and pieced, 78 by 68. Cotton feed sacks. Named Busy Hands by the family, this whimsical example of African American folk art was made by a Negro woman who worked for the Newton Perry Floyd family in Arkansas. The book says her name was not recorded, but it is known that she made it for the family's son, Robert Anders Floyd. In 1912, he and his wife moved. It's been quilted in recent years by family members. It's really cool. It feels like sort of, I don't know. Okay, Proud. Where's Okay Proud? Okay Proud. Oh my God. Okay Proud. This all night. I have been saying. We should. I don't know how to like. I should have like DM'd you or something, right? Ugh, there's so much going on, but you know what? This is your show. You got to keep this show forever because this is one of the best state documentation books that I've read. It's really good. And I've just picked a small selection of quilts from this book because they're really, really great, including this one. I mean, you and Susan Armichael. And who is our other Oklahomian? Yes, that's right, El Rakes, we did. Who are the other who's the other Oklahoman? I'm sorry, the chat, I lose track. But all of the quilts that we've seen tonight and all of the quilts in this book are amazing. They're amazing. Stones, yeah, I don't know, in between the hands, I think they're just, I mean, the quilt maker certainly had a vision. I don't know what it was. They do look like stones. You know, they're so specific. They must have some meaning. I'm not sure, but I love them. And it looks kind of, it's not Art Deco. I don't think that's what I'm trying to say, is it? Not Art Deco, but kind of, it's so stylized with these hands. Busy hands, that's what it's called, busy hands. I think this quilt is really neat. And the way the blocks are separated, you know, there's this sashing. I mean, it's not really sashing. I mean, there are rows. The rows of the blocks, the sashing is not a grid, you know what I mean? It's interesting. Okay, Proud, we are so glad to see you. You can come into the nerd room. Are you kidding? We have a new champagne, or we have a new sound effect for just this kind of moment. Yeah, a little champagne cork. I'm so glad you're back. A couple people showed up tonight who have been away, and it's been so good. Quilty happiness, quilt happiness, quilt peace. Anyway. That was great. And now you're here, and then somebody else. But anyway, and our friend Okra is here. It's great. It's great. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Let's do a couple more. Let's just do a couple more. It's Tuesday. Whoa, it's Tuesday night, and I've had so much energy this whole show that, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's much later than it is. So, you know, I'm not going to rush us out of here, but well, okay. So let me just tell you, if you've just tuned in, we discovered together that in this book, there's a quilt made, used by Josephine, Empress Josephine, as in Napoleon Bonaparte's chick. It's in this book. And I didn't know it, and I freaked out. I totally freaked out. Oh, I also got up at 5 a.m. That's another reason why, you know, things are kind of a crack up, because I'm still in shock that Napoleon had a quilt on his bed and then it ended up in Oklahoma. It's amazing. Okay, page 49. I love this quilt. I think this is very special. It's very special. You love that unique thing, Susan or Michael. I do too. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Kenny says, there's a direct ratio between the level of feels and the number of tabs that Mary puts on a book. Are you seeing all these tabs? Look at this tab. Look at this. How many tabs? That's like an ASMR thing. Is that good? Do you like that? Probably not. It's probably horrible, but I kind of like it. Okay, this one, wait, where are we at? Page 49, okay. Hang on. I love this because you see this is crazy. I've never seen a quilt like this. We love quilt history too, okay, Proud, and I, holy tabs a lot. Yeah, we like it too, and on Saturday night, we're gonna look at a fun video and something else great. I don't know what it's gonna be, but Saturday night's gonna be a crack up, so you have to come. 49. See, I'm talking and I'm not looking. 49. I love this quilt too, Little Bird Stitch, and this quilt doesn't look like any I've ever seen. Of course, we say that a lot because there's so many different quilts and people are so original and creative across time and space. But this is really something. I mean, it's an optical illusion, right? Because it looks like there's two quilts. There's one on top of another, you know? Padma says, Mary, don't you have a new assistant? Maybe you can tell her to direct message everyone in the Quilt Nerd directory that's in the state you're going to talk about and such before a show. I do not have an assistant, but in the next, either tomorrow or the next day, I'll be talking to an intern. That's right. An intern from our ranks. The Quilt Nerd, in the Quilt Nerd community. Somebody is interested in helping me out. And I am like, really? Yes. And soon you will know their name and praise it. No, really, it's going to be amazing. And so we're going to have a chat about like what that looks like, and stuff like that would be really terrific, you know, to share with people. I mean, yeah, like, okay, Proud, like, oh, you know, tune in tonight for Oklahoma, an Oklahoma special, you know? It's a great idea. It's a great idea. And yeah, it's great. It's great. Red jasper, turquoise, other stones. Paper plates. Yes, paper plates. Kitty Hannah, that's exactly what I kept thinking of, and I couldn't put it to that. I mean, yes, it's paper plates. It's Dixie paper plates. Rounded corners and the border would hang off the edge of the bed. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Bip, look at this. Look at this. Oh, sorry. It's still, yeah, you can't, but look at this. I got like 3 of these. It's really good. I'm in tabs. The placement of the circles is perfect. An intern, my great cats. It's going to be amazing. Yes, Charles says, love the difference in density between the circles on the border and in the center. Yeah, me too, Padma. It's going to be great. Quack, quack, cat. Quack, quack, cat. It does look like sunflowers. Let's see what it says. It's called Sunburst, and it's made by Ethel Alma Wilson McCullum. Everyone in this book has 9 names, I swear. 9. 85.5 by 73. Hand-pieced. Though many sunburst type quilts were registered in Oklahoma, this example by quiltmaker Ethel McCullum deserves a second look, both for its uncommon color scheme and for the original set or placement of the sunburst blocks. Yeah, add to Ethel's originality her mastery of quilting and hand piecing. Yeah, okay. And the result is an heirloom to treasure. Yeah, that's hand pieced. It's like, excuse me, look at that. Look at those. Look at that amazing work. So tiny, so narrow, you know? The pitch on these sunbursts is really intense. It's really, and they're just wonderful. I love this quilt. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool the way it is. It's like it's so good. You know, it's really interesting. It's true. Like her piecing is so great. I mean, look at how good her curves are. You know, on the side, like curve after curve after curve is just gorgeous. Chef's kiss, you know. But you can see her in it, you know. And then I don't know, this wonky setting is just wild. It's just wild. I mean, this I've never seen a setting like this. And you know, it's really neat. It's really neat. I mean, if you want to, you know, win friends and influence people, like take a screenshot of this quilt or get this book, because that's not, I mean, it's not hard. It's just the setting. Like you're making the center part and then adding a border, which is, well, I mean, it's hard because it's like all curves and hand piecing, but I just mean like the setting itself, like the design of it. I mean, it's if you had fabric that had the border printed on it, you know, you just cut 4 pieces of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the setting, it makes it an optical illusion, but you know, if you look at it, you can tell what you would need to do to make that. And then you would cry and cry and cry. Oh, Patty Okra. It would be a perfect Ukraine quilt. Blue and yellow sunflowers. Oh my God. It really is perfect. It really is perfect. Exactly, Pam. Yeah, a fine line between amazing and insane. It's true. You know, let's just see how many little bursts are there in one of these. Hang on. 3, 6, oh God, I can't do this. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 28. Okay, proud. I'm working right now on my very first paper piece project. I'm totally in awe of this. Paper piecing, you know what? It's that first piece. It's like getting that first and second piece. Once you figure that out, once you're like, oh, like you do have an aha moment, you're like, okay, but it's piece 1 and piece 2. If you can figure that out, you will, and you probably already have. But yeah, but it's I love paper piecing because you can be so accurate. Zoom in on the edge. Yes, I can do that. And my great cats. 28 too. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, zoom in on the edge. My great cats, do you want... where do you want to be? Yeah, L Riggs. No. You did? Okay, Proud Watch Quilty. I admit to having sometimes gone back and watched a Quilty episode that I hosted to remember how to do something. My great cats, is this where you want to be? Do you want to zoom in on the edge? This is where you want? Thanks. Okay, yeah, sure. Susan or Michael. On a more contemporary note, the Carrie Dickerson was a quilt maker. Her foundation protested the Black Fox nuclear power plant. Carrie Dickerson was a quilt maker. How interesting. Cool tip. Susan, you got great tips. My great cat says that you wanted to see the separation of the top and the bottom. Yeah. 56 pieces. Oh yeah, Padma says it's 56 pieces. You're counting 28 blue points, but there's all the yellow ones in between. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to show you this one too. So this one, well, it is an amazing quilt in terms of the color. So, I mean, this one is an optical illusion too. I told you the books in this Oklahoma book are the quilts in this Oklahoma book are really, really neat. And this one, it's by far not my favorite quilt, but I picked it because it goes to show you. So listen here, let me read to you about it first. What did I say? 47, okay. I have tabs for a reason. Where are they? Okay. Trip Around the World, made by Gladys Rush Jones in 1932. 6/10 of rose solid. So there's 6 different rose pinks in here. So when Gladys Jones and her 3 sisters reached adulthood, Gladys embarked upon a challenging project. Whoa, excuse me. Gladys embarked upon a challenging project, creating a trip around the world quilt for herself and each one of her sisters. By the way, my mom mentioned to me just yesterday that Trip Around the World is actually a really hard quilt. I was like, really? But yeah. She decided to make each quilt in a different color. Wow. And in due time decided upon rose, blue, yellow, and lavender. Each quilt required 6 tints of the color, but this was no problem, as her husband, J.C., was an associate of C.R. Anthony, founder of the Oklahoma department store chain of the same name. My Oklahomans, do you know about that? Gladys thus had access to a large selection of piece goods. Her mother and one of her sisters helped with the quilting, and the first completed was this one in rose, made for the birth of her sister, Mae Rush Johnstone, mother of the present owner. So I wanted to share this with you because, we talk about it a fair amount on the show where it's like, you see these like crazy quilts or like improvisationally pieced quilts like this, Well, that's pretty involved, but let me go to, actually, this is a good one. This one, which is totally awesome. But, it's like the person who made this quilt was not married to someone who owned a department store. The person who made this quilt was amazing and talented and fabulous and made some really interesting design choices, and we love them for it and we're here for it. This woman made this quilt because she had the time and the supplies and the help, and so I don't know, I just really feel strongly about that when we look at these quilts and we look at quilts from this area of the world or this area of the country or this area of the country. It's not about race, for God's sakes, and it's not about skill or talent or anything like that. A lot of times the way the quilts look, it just comes down to time, the time they had to spend on them, and the resources, the supplies and stuff, But either way, I don't think one quilt's better than the other. It's just some quilts look like this, and some quilts look like this, and we love them all. And the reason that this quilt looks like this is because of this. And the reason that this quilt looks like this is because of this, you know, this like, or you know, the style of this quilt is such because of this, you know, and it's time and it's money. And it's also, you know, this person probably would never have made a quilt using corduroy. And that's a drag, you know, because corduroy and like breeches quilts and stuff, they're amazing, you know, but this person probably couldn't have used stuff like that, which is lame, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So I showed you that one because it's very different from a lot of the quilts in the book. And she was married to a guy who owned a department store. So, you know. There's a glitch with the chat. Oh no. Mother Nature. Third row from the middle, a block is placed incorrectly. Third row from the middle. Oh God, I'm getting dizzy. Third row from the middle. Oh my God, I can't. Oh yeah, I see it. Right in there, you see that? Whoops. Oops, Gladys. Oops. No, I'm kidding. No, you're amazing. You can't believe it. I can't believe it. You're amazing. It is right there in the center. I didn't see it till you pointed it out though, but okay. All right. So, how about one more? Quilt, and then I will send you off. We'll send you off into the night. Let's do this one. Oh yeah. Well, actually, I think we did them. Well, we almost did them all. Well, let's look at this little guy. What's this little guy about? 43. I think it's just great. I mean, yeah, short and sweet. Original Bars by Gladys Johnson Poynor. Finding new ways to arrange. I just love that they included this one. This is why the book is so great. You know, it's just great. Finding new ways to arrange simple, traditional blocks to achieve a totally different look has been a perpetual challenge for quilters. Quiltmaker Gladys Poynor set 2-patch and 4-patch blocks alternately with white in vertical rows separated by wide blue bars. The result, a quilt with a decidedly contemporary look. So good. Yes, Gladys is human. An amazing one, though. Yes. Like, wasn't that last? Yeah, these were both Gladys. Both of these were Gladyses. It's just so great. It's so great. Perfectly imperfect. Exactly. Oh my God. That sunburst quilt, Padmas County, 1,824 pieces. You know, sometime I'll do a show with like a chapter or a section of like quilts with as many pieces as I've ever seen. I mean, there's one that's, I think, a mosaic quilt that has 60,000 pieces. I'm sure that's what it is. Like, it's 60,000. It's not 6,000, you know, it's like, I think it's 60,000. I think it's a hexagon mosaic quilt with 60,000 pieces in it. I'll find out. 60K pieces. Y'all, this was fun. I mean, this is like really fun. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming to the show. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, what's going on here? Let me get this like this. I don't like that that's, I want to scoot this over. Yeah, nice. Delightful. Just delightful. We saw a quilt that Josephine and Napoleon slept under. We saw quilts from Oklahoma that were special in every way, in all kinds of ways. Don't forget, if you, real quick, if you, help, I'm small again. If you want to join AQSG, you should do it. American Quilt Study Group is, like when you talk about Andy Warhol's quilts, oh yeah, we went to New York in 1973 and looked at quilts in New York City being sold for high prices. And there was this wonderful article in New York Magazine. You know, we learned that Andy Warhol had quilts, right? And that they were sold at Sotheby's or Christie's or something, you know, eventually. That's fabulous. And it's worth looking into. And it's worth looking into the Josephine Napoleon quilt. And if you want to do stuff like that, like I want you to come to the quilt museums, especially the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln. I want you to be a part of that. But, you know, if you have questions about stuff related to like research and stuff, you can't really call a museum. You know, you can't, that's not really what they do. They're not a university, they're not a school. They're doing their stuff, they're doing their museum thing. But American Quilt Study Group, when you join, you get a directory of everybody who's in it. And like, it's everybody you would want to talk to. It's everybody you would want to ask about, like, excuse me, like, I want to try to find like this person. Do you have a contact at a museum? Like, how do you can, this is where you go to do that kind of stuff. And I know not everybody wants to do that stuff, and it's totally cool, but some of you might. And if you want to be nerdy in a real, not a professional capacity, but in a sort of more official capacity, you should be part of AQSG. And they've never done a coupon code before, ever, but they're doing it for us because obviously this is a gateway drug. We're a gateway drug. To AQSG. So you get $15 off your first time ever membership. So a friend membership, $75 a year, but you can get it for $60 by putting in that coupon code through the end of June. Quilt Nerd 15, $15 off. I think you should do it. A bunch of nerds have done it, and I appreciate that. It's awesome. And yeah, you get a copy of the journal every year, the annual journal Uncoverings, and maybe one day you'll have a paper in that. Really, I mean, I'm not just saying this. Like, I wouldn't like pursue a coupon code, you know, for this thing if it didn't make sense. So that's it. And yeah, I think that is all. And I am going to say goodnight and good luck and be well. And I'll see you on Saturday night, 8:00. Tell a friend about Quilt Nerd. Bring somebody along, and I'll say hello to them, and I'll play lots of fun things just for them. It's fun. Okay, bye, you guys. It's always hard to say goodbye. Okay, see you later. And that's it. Okay, bye.